What is going on to you, Aquarius? So this is for your 2025 yearly overview. I am using a deck that I don't normally use. You have, I can't even say T word, but anyway, you have um, Treats, Rose Fairy, you have Prayer for the Fallen, right? These three cards up front. Let me show it to you. Boom. So treat basically represents how Rose Fairy. That's interesting. Okay, so treat basically represents how you Aquarius want to make sure that you take responsibility for whatever you need to take responsibility for. You don't have to take responsibility for things that are not necessarily things that you do not have to take responsibility for. Don't overdo it, because people will give their responsibility to you if you allow them to. So take responsibility for where it is that is necessary for you to take it, but then don't you over blame yourself, right? Trying to internalize all of that blame, because that's how you stop thinking things the correct way, or way that is correct for you. And then now you start thinking, doom and gloom and the world's going to end and all this other type of stuff, when that's not true at all. So this is about you, Aquarius, needing to understand that, yes, accept responsibility, and things are essentially what it is that you will make it. But at the same time, though, I mean, cut yourself some slack. No one is perfect. You're not a machine. Machines aren't perfect. And then you have the Rose Fairy, which represents take the time to actually slow down a minute and to understand that, again, what is Aquarius? Uniqueness. So you are unique. You are loved. Okay? You're not in a situation where you're just the worst thing in the world, right? Understand that, like I said, cut yourself some slack. Understand your own internal light, and that you need to be nurturing your internal light. What is working for you? How you're living your life. And then you have the prayer for the fallen, and this represents there's some situations that's going to happen to you where you are going to be tested, right? Your higher self is testing your lower self. You, Aquarius, there's not going to be any of this. Is why it is that I was trying to tell you, Aquarius, there's not going to be any of you just working a 9-to-5 job. The universe is going to, i.e. your higher self, the most high, whatever you want to call it, is going to continue to kick your butt until you stop working just that 9-to-5 job and you actually have some form of investment. It's not optional anymore. Your higher self is going to continue to give you problems until you say, fine, okay, I'm actually going to go ahead. So I'm letting you, Aquarius, know right now. Don't be surprised when things keep happening to y'all where it's like little of this, little of that, little of this, little of that. And then now what? Now you're being pushed from your higher self to now you got to. And then when you slowly get into investing, however you choose to invest, not a financial advisor, that's up to you to do your own research. You'll notice that things will essentially calm down. Why is that happening? Because it's saying what it is that I was saying to you, Aquarius. You, Aquarius, are doing great, but you're not taking your own advice. You, Aquarius, you, Aquarius, to a certain extent, still trying to get people, you, Aquarius, to a certain extent, you're still trying to save people. You're still trying to get people to be on the same time with you, as far as to us, not all the way that you used to, but to a certain extent. You're going to have to invest. You're going to have to actually learn the learning curve. You're going to have to actually learn to do all these things. You, yourself, you independently, no one else in your family, you're going to have to take that big leap. And then they will follow, because you have great influence and power. So they will follow. This goes for you Aquarius who are not in a relationship, and you Aquarius who are also in a relationship. You're going to have to invest. You're going to have to take a leap. The question is, where? What are you going to invest into? The decision is yours. Again, do your own research to understand what it is that you're going to get into. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just pointing you in a direction that may work, but I am not a financial advisor. Okay. And then you have the angel rose, which represents when you do invest, you take care of your problems, because you will be tested to actually start to become that investor, that business owner that you've been talking about. Maybe some of you Aquarius may have that, but what it's saying is you will have to scale it if you have it. So it's this sense of you're not going to be pacified next year. So it's a good thing that I'm giving y'all a heads up now, right? And not at the beginning of the year, right? Which more than likely I'm probably going to start doing at the beginning of the year, whatnot, just so it's more appropriate at that time. So this will probably more than likely be the last year that I give y'all an early warning, right? The warning will be January 1st. But it's a good time that I gave y'all an early warning. That way you Aquarius can essentially prepare for it. If you Aquarius have a business, you will have to scale up at that business. If you don't have a business, you're going to start having to be a business owner or invest. People say they don't want to be a business owner. Fine, but you're still going to have to invest though. You see those people who reach to 40 and 50 and above, they don't have any money. What were they doing the whole time? They wasn't preparing themselves, is what they're doing. There's many of people who I know right now personally and impersonally that I know, I know of in that sense, where I know them, but I don't actually know them personally. And then there's people that I do know personally who is in their 50s, 60s, and they struggling. They really struggling. So the angel rose represents when you actually fix your business, in a sense of when you actually address those issues that pop up, you will be in a much better, you will be in a very good position, because the Saturn will be testing you right now. Some of you Aquarius may be having some sort of a Saturn return. That could even be appropriate into that. Now, again, I don't keep up with all the latest astrological news, but you may have a Saturn return. Even if you do not have a Saturn return, Saturn, which is your ruling planet, right? Saturn, then Uranus. Saturn, which is your ruling planet, is going to test you because, again, your higher self, because you have to understand that you have to become better. That's what Saturn is about, pushing you to become better. It's not always going to be comfortable. The majority of the times, it's not going to be the most comfortable. But you have to learn to enjoy it anyway. So you will gain a lot of reward if you actually address your problems. And I'm not saying that you Aquarius do not address your problems. What I'm saying is that it's going to be like a race. Like you're going to be having situations that you Aquarius will have to address. So what after the other, boom, boom, address. Over here, address it, address it, address it, address this, address this. And you Aquarius are going to be on some Medusa type stuff. You're going to be over here trying to figure out what in the world is happening. Why is all this stuff happening? How is this stuff manifesting itself? How is it that life is going in such a way where these things are, all these obstacles are starting to manifest themselves fast paced? How is this stuff happening, right? In a way that is going to shock you, Aquarius, because you Aquarius may not have even have thought that life could have essentially manifested itself in that way. And now you Aquarius are finding out that, surprise, surprise, indeed it actually can. But what it's also going to do for you, Aquarius, like I said, is get you to become the Medusa. Very powerful, knowledgeable, business orientated, having a lot of knowledge that a lot of people do not have, because you're going to be in positions where you will have to actually study, do some form of academics, studying, opening a book. And again, I'm not saying that you Aquarius don't open books and that you don't read, because I have to say that because there's always some sensitive, some not even sensitive, some overly sensitive, delusional person that wants to take things personally. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say here is the level of knowledge and education will make a big jump, is what I'm trying to say with the book smarts, with it. And then you have the truth. You will become a lot more aware of your surroundings. You Aquarius will stop trying to be the politician or the diplomat. And I've talked about this before. That Aquarius is actually the zodiac sign of the politician or the diplomat. Yeah. You're going to learn how to be diplomatic, but you're also going to learn how to be diplomatic, not being politically correct, ironically. And what I mean when I say that, I mean like you Aquarius are going to learn how to be more truthful to yourselves when it comes to things that bother you. Right? You're basically going to do what Kendrick Lamar is doing, which is to get off your chest a lot of things that you may have essentially swept up underneath the rug earlier in your life, that is now starting to come up that you just can't deal with the same way that you used to anymore. And I know exactly what it is that you Aquarius are going through myself. When I was younger, I may have been able to accept someone spazzing out on me. Now, yes, I'm still able to accept someone spazzing out on me. Like it is, I said before, you have to get to a point where you have thick skin to where you can be relaxed and calm even when people are giving you a little bit of a hard time, right? You don't want to always break up underneath pressure, but at the same time, the level and the degree that people go, the extremes that they go, I'm not going along for the ride. The delusion, the wasting time, I'm not going, right? And this is what I'm talking about. You're not going to go. And the truth right here, the truth is probably like the justice card, basically. And your value system is going to become so important to you to the point where a lot of the things that maybe you would have accepted even now in 2024 and prior, you're not going to be able to. Like me personally, and I know this to be true because that's one of the things that I've learned even myself on this path is I can't stand using money to Cashapp somebody to get the person to pay attention to you. Like, if the person is that broken and dysfunctional, leave that kind of person alone. Use Money can't buy love, yo. Money can't buy love, and stop trying to buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so then you have basically the prayer, or the star card, or the prayer, which is you, Aquarius, just honestly, just staying focused, knowing, just getting your head clear on what you need to do. And with, like I said, with all of these problems that spring up, pop up, and show up, and just catch you by surprise, and then you have to essentially address these different things, right? Address it. You are going to, like I said before, you will have to learn to develop that value system, right? And because you develop that value system, you will have a deeper line in the sand with the things that you will not tolerate, and you'll know why. Because for the time that you're living in, you got to understand what it is that you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept, right? I'm not willing to accept cashapping somebody so that they can pay attention to me. Look, I'm not doing any of that. If I decide to send a donation, it's coming from the heart. And I ain't trying to cash app people to get them to pay attention to me and all this stuff. Even if they don't say thank you. I ain't you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to do all that. Whatever it is that you want to do, cool. But I'm not cash apping individuals to you know, get them to pay attention to me. All of that, and I'm becoming bothered by it. Like, I'm not as bothered by it as I was at the top of the year, but I realized like how far I've come, because it really got me on my nerves. Another thing that used to get me on my nerves that just happened just this year, where I just couldn't stand it, was the essentially the lying, right? Calling somebody beautiful, buttering them up. And it's like, yo, you ain't gotta be doing all of that. Just be yourself, right? Like the goof troop, like the Andrew Tate antics. Like, why is it that Andrew Tate was so hot last year, meeting with these corny stars and all this stuff? Now all of a sudden Andrew Tate is struggling. Because the foundation that Andrew Tate built, his riches and his, I don't know how that goofy became famous, son. Like, I used to see this goofy Andrew Tate from the 21 Studios. And at first, when I listened to some of the stuff that he was talking about, I used to nod my head and be like, I can agree with this, you know, because the way that Andrew Tate was before, Andrew Tate was on some, I'm doing it because I want to do this. I'm doing this because I want to dress this way. And I understand that it's outlandish, but I'm doing it as an expression of myself, and the fact that I'm not running around harming anybody or causing anything nefarious. So the mere fact that people would be upset at how I'm exuding myself, being how I want to be, even if it's a little bit outlandish and exaggerated, that's my right. That's my birthright that nobody can essentially take away. If I want to wear glasses, I can wear glasses because I am not doing anything nefarious. And I used to rock with that message. Then Andrew Tate became more extreme and started to go way off the rails, started to make it more about commanding other people and telling other people what to do. And I got off the stove with that. I said, nah, you lost me. You lost me. You kind of out of touch with that. So the point that I'm trying to make here with that is, you, Aquarius, are not becoming out of touch with who you are, despite what's actually happening around you, right? And then the wish represents you wanted this to happen because your whole reality is turning itself around for the better if you do it right. Because you, Aquarius, you need a breakthrough. You need a big benevolent change that looks non-benevolent or looks malevolent to get you to be uncomfortable, to get you, Aquarius, to be uncomfortable so that you can actually create that change. And then you have immortal flight and enchantment. Immortal flight represents, and then by the end of the year, you, Aquarius, will be very much so in a very good disposition that you will actually enjoy being a part of. You will enjoy being a part of the fact that you, Aquarius, did go through this because you've gained so much all within 1 year, and then you have enchantment. You won't be able to believe that life works that way, where literally in just 12 months your life can change one way or the other, for that matter, if I'm being fair, in such a wild or drastic way. So let's clarify enchantment. Four of Cups. You may get the Ten of Wands. Four of Pentacles. Five of Wands. The World card. The Star card. Okay, cool. The Four of Cups. Learning how to actually deal with your problems in other ways, creative ways, ways that you already know how to do, but you're becoming more educated in it. I am going to become more educated as well. I'm not going to say how yet, but I will become more educated, of course. And then the Four of Pentacles and the Five of Wands speaks to how a lot of you, Aquarius, will also learn how to be a lot more stable, you know, how to be a lot more grounded, to where you don't necessarily need to always have to-do lists. Because Aquarius is a zodiac sign, the air signs really in general, but Aquarius is really an air sign that will keep like calendars and lists and stuff like this. Truth be told, y'all are more of the neat air signs. Y'all know that y'all mind can go all over the place. So what y'all do is y'all will get out ahead in front of it and actually get a calendar or create a to-do list. But a lot of you Aquarius are learning that yes, having a calendar and a to-do list is good, but you Aquarius are going to develop how to get it in here too, here and here, to where you do have a calendar and a to-do list, but you also will remember a lot more that you already are doing what you have to do. So where you're not dependent on the calendar or the to-do list is what I'm trying to say. And then the World and the Star card here represents how the Star card represents Aquarius. So there's a lot more getting to your goals. There's a lot more opening the way in a way that you like. In many ways that you never thought possible. So overall, this is really a blessing in disguise. This is, if you work, you get so much rewards, right? That's one of the reasons why I love Saturn. So much work, but at the same time, so much rewards. But you will be thankful of it by the end of the year 2025. So that's it for now. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Peace.